All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the incredible story of Leeds United, one of English football's most iconic clubs. It's a journey of absolutely dizzying highs, a catastrophic fall from grace, and a spectacular rebirth that honestly has lessons for the entire sport. You know, in football, there are certain phrases that just stick, and this is one of them. When people say a club is in danger of doing a Leeds, everybody knows exactly what that means. It's about chasing a dream so hard that it completely blows up in your face and turns into an absolute nightmare. So, how on earth did the champions of 1992 get to that point? It's a pretty wild question, and to really get our heads around the collapse, we first have to go back and understand the glory that came before it, that moment in time when they were standing at the very top of English football. So here's how we're going to break this whole story down. We'll start with that historic title win, then move to the ambitious gamble for European glory, the collapse, the long journey back from the brink of extinction, and finally, a modern rebirth under a truly revolutionary coach. Okay, let's start at that first peak, 1992. Now, you got to remember, this was the final season of the old First Division. This was right before the Premier League was born, and it changed the entire landscape of English football forever. And here it is. Under their manager, Howard Wilkinson, Leeds United completely defied expectations and snatched the title. And look who they beat to it. Their fierce rivals, Manchester United, by 4 whole points. This was a triumph built on grit, discipline, and incredible teamwork. The heart of that team, its absolute engine room, was this legendary midfield. I mean, what a quartet. You had Gordon Strachan's veteran savvy, Gary McAllister's incredible vision, David Batty's pure tenacity, and the tireless energy of Gary Speed. It was the perfect blend of creativity and steel. They just dominated games. Okay, let's fast forward a bit to the late 90s. A brand new, incredibly ambitious era kicks off under chairman Peter Ridsdale and manager David O'Leary. The plan wasn't just to compete anymore. It was to go out and conquer Europe. And for a little while, it worked like an absolute charm. This thrilling, fearless young team with stars like Harry Kewell, Alan Smith, and Jonathan Woodgate just took Europe by storm. They beat giants like AC Milan and Lazio on their way to the Champions League semifinals. They really were part of the continent's elite. But here's the catch. This success was built on a massive financial gamble. The strategy was simple but unbelievably risky. Spend big now on players and wages, and then pay for it all with the riches you think you're going to get from qualifying for the Champions League year after year. They were literally betting the club's entire future on it. And then the bet failed. The club missed out on qualifying for the Champions League the very next season. That guaranteed income completely vanished, and the beautiful dream turned into an absolute nightmare, almost overnight. And that's how we get here. The club's financial implosion was so total, so infamous, that it actually created a new phrase in the football world. It became the ultimate warning, the cautionary tale for any other club with big dreams and a big checkbook. With no Champions League money coming in to pay the bills, the club's debts just spiraled completely out of control. They peaked at this staggering level. There was just no way to sustain it. So what happens next? A fire sale. That star-studded squad was completely stripped bare. Other clubs knew Leeds were desperate, and they swooped in like vultures, picking off world-class players for cheap, all so Leeds could just try to keep the lights on. But selling all your best players isn't a real solution, is it? It's a symptom of a much deeper problem. It guts your team. And the results on the field, well, they were a direct, brutal consequence of all that financial chaos. The club was headed for the wilderness. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's almost hard to wrap your head around. In just 6 years, Leeds United went from being one step away from a Champions League final to playing in the third tier of English football for the very first time in their history. An absolutely unbelievable collapse. And just when you thought it couldn't possibly get any worse, it did. The club officially went into administration in 2007 and got slapped with this crippling 15-point penalty before a ball was even kicked. They were starting the season already at rock bottom. But after years of false starts and just stagnating in the lower leagues, a truly revolutionary figure arrived in 2018, someone who is ready to write a completely new chapter for the club. We're talking about Marcelo Bielsa. This enigmatic tactical genius, a guy revered by managers like Pep Guardiola, his appointment signaled a new kind of hope. It was a radical shift in the club's identity, its fortunes, and its entire culture. And his impact was immediate and profound. He introduced this relentless, high-intensity playing style that pushed players to their absolute limits. He took a squad that a lot of people called misfits and transformed them into this hyper-fit, tactically brilliant team that just re-energized the entire city of Leeds. And this quote from England international Calvin Phillips really says it all. So this whole incredible journey is really bookended by two distinct, successful, yet completely different philosophies for winning. It's a fascinating look at how you can reach the top in two very, very different eras of football. Okay, let's put them side by side because this is what's so interesting. On one hand, you've got Wilkinson's pragmatic, controlled champions from '92, built on that solid, tactically drilled midfield. And on the other, you've got Bielsa's modern idealists, a team defined by a breathtaking high press and a total all-out commitment to attacking. Two very different paths to the exact same summit. So ultimately, the story of Leeds United is one of modern football's most powerful tales. It's a stark reminder of how that glorious chase for trophies can lead to total ruin. But it's also this amazing example of how a clear identity, unwavering principles, and a real connection with your fans can lead to an unforgettable redemption.